First Contact Protocol. The Discovery. Commander Zelthax of the Korthan Empire stared at the transmission with all three of his eyes. The message had come from a star system previously marked as primitive civilization, avoid contact. But the signal they received was not primitive at all. Commander, the mathematics in this transmission is extraordinary, his science officer reported. They have solved problems that our greatest minds struggled with for centuries. And they did it using only electromagnetic waves and basic chemistry. The humans, as they called themselves, had sent a simple message into space. A message of peace, curiosity, and friendship. It contained information about their world, their biology, and their desire to meet other intelligent species. Zelthax made a decision that would change galactic history. He ordered his ship to make contact. The meeting. The human delegation arrived at the neutral meeting station 3 months later. Zelthax watched through the observation window as their small ship docked. It was crude compared to Korthan technology, held together with welded metal and burning chemical fuel. But it had crossed the distance between stars, and that commanded respect. The airlock opened, and the humans emerged. They were smaller than Zelthax expected. Soft-looking, with delicate skin and strange hair covering their heads. They wore bulky suits to protect themselves from the station's atmosphere, which Zelthax had carefully adjusted to be as comfortable as possible for their biology. The lead human removed her helmet. Her face was expressive, her eyes bright with intelligence and wonder. "Thank you for meeting with us," she said through the translation device. Her name was Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and she represented something called the United Nations of Earth. "We have waited so long to know we are not alone." Zelthax found himself unexpectedly moved. There was genuine emotion in her voice. Hope. Joy. Curiosity. These were not the emotions of a species that would be a threat. "Welcome to the galactic community," he replied. "We have much to discuss." The warning. The meeting went well. Too well, thought Ambassador Krent, who watched from his position in the diplomatic gallery. The Korthan were being foolish, as usual. They saw only the humans' small size, their primitive ships, their emotional openness. Krent belonged to the Vexian hegemony, a species that had ruled 100 worlds before the Korthan Empire even existed. His people knew better than to trust first impressions. After the meeting, Krent requested a private conversation with Commander Zelthax. "You are making a mistake," Krent said, his voice a dry rasp through his translator. "I have studied the humans' planet. Their broadcasts, their history. You have invited predators into our space." Zelthax's scales rippled with amusement. "Predators? Ambassador, they are barely capable of interstellar travel. Their weapons are chemical explosives and metal projectiles. They pose no threat to anyone." "You judge them by their technology," Krent replied. "I judge them by their nature. Do you know what I found when I studied their world?" Zelthax said nothing, so Krent continued. "They evolved as persistence hunters. They would chase their prey for days until it collapsed from exhaustion. They developed the ability to throw projectiles with deadly accuracy, something almost unique in the galaxy. They learned to cooperate in large groups, to communicate complex ideas, to plan for the future. Many species are hunters, Ambassador." "Yes, but most species stopped hunting when they developed intelligence. They became farmers, builders, thinkers. The humans did all of those things while remaining hunters. They never stopped. They turned hunting into sport, into art, into entertainment. It is in their very souls." Zelthax was beginning to feel uncomfortable. "What exactly are you suggesting?" Krentha's eyes, dark and ancient, fixed on the Korthan commander. "I am suggesting that you are inviting a species into the galaxy that has never known peace. They fight constantly. Not just between different groups, but between individuals. They have words for dozens of types of conflict. War. Battle. Skirmish. Duel. Argument. Debate. Competition. Sport. They seem peaceful enough now. Because they are curious. Because they are alone and seeking connection. But what happens when that curiosity is satisfied? What happens when they feel threatened, or hungry for resources, or simply bored? Zelthax considered this. I think you are being paranoid, Ambassador. But I will keep your concerns in mind. The integration. Despite Krentha's warnings, the humans were welcomed into the galactic community. They established embassies, signed treaties, and began trading with other species. They were friendly, eager to learn, and surprisingly adaptable. Earth became a popular tourist destination. Visitors came to see the primitive planet that had somehow produced such intelligent, creative beings. They marveled at human art, music, and literature. They tried human food, which was far more diverse and flavorful than anything else in the galaxy. The humans, for their part, were model galactic citizens. They followed all protocols, respected all boundaries, and resolved disputes through peaceful negotiation. Ambassador Krentha watched all of this and felt increasingly uneasy. The humans were too perfect. Too diplomatic. Too controlled. He began to research more deeply into human history. What he found disturbed him greatly. The humans had fought wars constantly throughout their history. Brutal, terrible wars that killed millions. They had developed weapons of such power that they could destroy their entire planet several times over. They had practiced slavery, genocide, and cruelty beyond imagination. And then, in the last few centuries before achieving spaceflight, they had somehow stopped. They had united. They had put aside their weapons and their hatred and worked together. Krentha did not believe in miracles. Something had changed the humans, made them peaceful. But he feared that change was only temporary. That underneath their friendly exterior, the old predator still lurked. He tried to warn other species, but no one listened. The humans were too useful, too friendly, too interesting. They brought new ideas, new perspectives, new solutions to old problems. And so, the galaxy welcomed humanity with open arms, never suspecting what would happen when those arms closed into fists. The first crisis. The crisis began in a distant sector, far from Earth. A species called the Draxan had been raiding trade routes, stealing cargo and killing crews. They were pirates, operating from hidden bases in asteroid fields. The Galactic Council debated what to do. Send military forces? Negotiate? Establish stronger patrols? The humans sat quietly in the council chamber, listening to the endless discussions. They had no military to contribute, no experience with space combat. They were new to the galaxy and knew their place. But Dr. Mitchell, now Earth's permanent representative, requested permission to speak. We would like to offer our assistance, she said. The council members looked at her with barely concealed amusement. What could the humans possibly contribute? What kind of assistance? The council chairman asked politely. Mitchell's face was calm, professional. But Krentha, watching from his seat, saw something flicker in her eyes. Something cold and calculating that he recognized from his studies of human history. We have protocols for dealing with piracy, Mitchell said. They are quite effective. We would be happy to demonstrate. The human protocol. The demonstration. 3 weeks later, the Galactic Council received an invitation to observe a human operation against the Draxan pirates. Most members attended out of curiosity, expecting to see a failed attempt that would prove the humans were still too inexperienced for military operations. Commander Zelthax attended as well, along with Ambassador Krentha, who came despite his misgivings. Or perhaps because of them. The human fleet that assembled was modest. 5 ships, small and ungainly compared to the sleek vessels of other species. They were clearly modified cargo transports, hastily fitted with weapons and armor. This is their military? Zelthax murmured. They will be slaughtered. But Krentha said nothing. He watched the human ships with growing apprehension. The hunt begins. The operation began simply enough. The human ships approached a known Draxan hideout in an asteroid field. Instead of attacking immediately, they began broadcasting on all frequencies. "Draxan pirates," came a calm human voice. "This is Captain James Chen of the United Earth Defense Force. You have committed acts of piracy against galactic shipping. Surrender now and you will be treated fairly under galactic law." The response was predictable. The Draxan emerged from their hiding spots and attacked, their fast attack craft swarming the human vessels. What happened next shocked everyone watching. The human ships did not flee. They did not panic. Instead, they scattered in perfect coordination, each ship moving to a pre-planned position. The Draxan, expecting easy prey, followed eagerly. Then the humans activated something new. Some kind of jamming technology that disrupted the Draxan's sensors and communications. Suddenly, the pirates were blind and isolated. Now, Captain Chen's voice came over the observation channel, still utterly calm. "We begin the protocol." The protocol. The human ships began to hunt. Not like any military force the galaxy had ever seen. They did not form battle lines or engage in direct combat. Instead, they pursued individual Draxan ships, following them relentlessly through the asteroid field. When a Draxan ship tried to hide, the humans found it. When it tried to run, they followed. When it tried to fight, they evaded and continued pursuing. The chase lasted for hours. The Draxan pilots grew increasingly desperate, making mistakes, burning through their fuel, exhausting themselves with panic and fear. And through it all, the humans maintained their patient pursuit. Never hurrying. Never stopping. Just following. "What are they doing?" Zelthax asked, confused. "Why not just destroy them?" Krenth understood. "They are persistence hunting. Like their ancestors did on Earth. They are waiting for their prey to collapse from exhaustion." One by one, the Draxan ships began to fail. Engines overheating. Life support failing. Pilots collapsing at their controls. The humans closed in, disabled each ship with precise weapons fire, and took the crews prisoner. Not a single Draxan was killed. Every pirate survived to face trial. But the message was clear. The humans had hunted them down with terrifying efficiency. There had been no escape, no mercy, no way to win. Only the slow, inevitable pursuit until surrender was the only option. The revelation. After the operation, the Galactic Council gathered in emergency session. The mood was very different from before. "That was extraordinary," Zelthax admitted. "I have never seen such tactics. Such patience. Such precision." Dr. Mitchell stood before the council. She looked the same as always, friendly, professional, calm. But now, everyone saw something else beneath that calm exterior. "The protocol we demonstrated is based on techniques humans have used for thousands of years," she explained. "We call it pursuit predation. On Earth, our ancestors would select a target and follow it for days if necessary. The prey would run until it could run no more. Then we would close in." "This is how you hunted animals?" one council member asked, horrified. "This is how we became the dominant species on our planet," Mitchell replied simply. "Every predator on Earth was faster than us, stronger than us, more dangerous than us. But we could outlast them all. We never gave up. We never stopped coming." Ambassador Krenth rose to speak. "And now you bring these tactics to space. These hunting protocols." Mitchell turned to face him. For the first time, her diplomatic mask slipped slightly. The predator beneath showed through. "Ambassador Krenth, you studied our history. You warned others about us. You were partially right to be concerned. Humans are predators. We evolved to hunt. We have instincts that most species lost millions of years ago." The council chamber was silent. "But," Mitchell continued, "you missed something important. We also evolved to cooperate, to plan, to control our instincts. We are not mindless killers. We are intelligent hunters. We can choose when to hunt and when to show mercy." She gestured to the displays showing the captured Draxan pirates, all alive and unharmed. We hunted these pirates because they were harming innocents. We pursued them until they surrendered. We did not kill them because killing was not necessary. This is the human protocol, overwhelming pursuit until surrender, but mercy when surrender comes. The new reality. In the weeks that followed, the galaxy's perception of humanity changed completely. The friendly, curious newcomers were revealed to be something far more complex and dangerous. Other pirate groups disbanded immediately. Criminal organizations operating in human-accessible space disappeared overnight. No one wanted to be hunted by the species that had perfected pursuit predation across millions of years of evolution. But more importantly, humanity's diplomatic standing increased dramatically. Other species now understood that behind the smiles and handshakes was a capability for relentless pursuit that no other species possessed. Ambassador Krenth requested a private meeting with Dr. Mitchell. "You knew this would happen," he said. "You knew that one demonstration would change everything." Mitchell nodded. "We needed to show the galaxy who we really are. Not threats, but not helpless either. We are predators, but we are civilized predators. We hunt only when necessary, and we show mercy when we can. And if someone threatens Earth? Threatens humanity?" Mitchell's eyes grew cold. "Then they will learn what it means to be hunted by humans. We will pursue them to the ends of the galaxy if necessary. We will never stop. We will never give up. That is our nature." Krenth considered this. "Your species is more dangerous than I thought. But also more honorable. You could have killed those pirates easily, but you chose to capture them instead. Because we are not monsters, Ambassador. We are humans. We hunt when we must, but we remember that we hunt thinking beings, not animals. We show mercy because we understand what it means to be prey. Our ancestors were prey for millions of years before they became hunters." The warning spreads. Word of the human protocol spread throughout the galaxy. Species that had considered attacking human interests reconsidered. Pirates avoided human shipping routes entirely. Even powerful empires began to treat Earth with new respect. Commander Zelthax visited Earth personally to apologize for underestimating humanity. "I thought you were weak because your ships were primitive and your weapons simple," he admitted. "I did not understand that your greatest weapon is not technology, it is patience. Determination. The willingness to pursue your goals no matter how long it takes." Dr. Mitchell smiled. "We learned patience from our planet, Commander. Earth taught us that nature favors not the fastest or the strongest, but those who endure. Those who never give up. Those who keep moving forward no matter what." She looked up at the stars visible through the embassy windows. "We pursued civilization for thousands of years. We pursued peace for centuries. We pursued the stars for generations. And now we have arrived. The galaxy should understand, when humans set a goal, we achieve it. No matter how long it takes. No matter what stands in our way." "That is both reassuring and terrifying," Zelthax admitted. "Good," Mitchell replied. "It should be both. We are friends to those who treat us fairly. But to those who threaten us or our allies, we are something else entirely. We are the patient hunters. The tireless pursuers. The species that never, ever stops. The legacy." Years passed. Humanity integrated fully into galactic society, bringing their unique perspective and capabilities. They became known as the best negotiators, the most reliable allies, and the most dangerous enemies. The human protocol became famous: relentless pursuit, overwhelming patience, mercy and victory. Other species studied it, tried to copy it, but could never quite match the humans' natural talent for pursuit. Because it was not just a tactic. It was who they were. Hunters who became thinkers. Predators who chose civilization. A species that could chase prey for days or sit in diplomatic negotiations for years, applying the same patience and determination to both. Ambassador Krenth, in his final report before retirement, wrote, "I warned the galaxy about humanity. I was right to warn them, but wrong about what the warning should be. Humans are not monsters to fear. They are partners to respect. But never forget what they are capable of. Never threaten them. Never test their patience. Because humans will pursue their goals with a determination that no other species can match. They will never give up. They will never stop coming. And in the end, they always achieve what they set out to do. That is the human protocol. Remember it well.